Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the show. This is the Above It All show, and it's a show, and I do this show, and I do it. It's a show that I do, and I'm doing it here today. So, doing a program today. Welcome. I got my blanket on because it's it's cold as fuck. And so, I have a blanket on, and I'm doing a show. So, hello, out there. We're gonna be doing some news. It's a news show, and so I do news on the. Everybody, if you're here. Well, if you're here, you're probably queer, and if that's the case, you should subscribe to my Doom channel on YouTube.com. I'm almost monetized. I just need a couple hundred more subscribers. So, help me out. Help me out. Anyway, we're doing a news show today. I don't even know where to start. I got like this, you know, what I do when I start the show is I got like a list of possible stories I could talk about. And all of them for today are some fucked up bullshit. I don't want to start with the Ron DeSantis. That's going to be, I'm going to end the show on that one. So, you know, in case anyone was wondering, yes, I'll get into it. But like, I want to start the show with something serious, man. Like, this is some crazy ass shit. Again, I don't know which one to even start on. I guess we'll start on the goddamn debt ceiling, because everyone loves the debt ceiling. You know, I have fan mail, you know, electronically speaking, and one of the most requested things on my channel, you know, you might in generally speaking in YouTube, you might think, oh, clips, reaction videos, trolling, you know, woke compilations. Like, what would be the most requested news story? It's actually the debt ceiling. I get people asking me, can you talk about the debt ceiling? We need to know about the debt ceiling. Talk about the debt ceiling. And so, I don't know, it's a little strange, but we're going to be talking about the debt ceiling here. And, you know, every time I cover an article that has, like, one of these header images, and I see this fucking guy, like, why? You know, this is where my mouse is, by the way. Like, you know, just like, and I'm going to grab onto this guy. Look at this, because they have the mouse. Like, I'm grabbing onto this JFK head. I just want to bring this guy. Look at this. I want to bring this guy over here. Like, someone needs to tell Joe Biden, okay, this guy right here, this guy got to turn his head this way and get his hand onto this fucking JFK thing and throw that bitch out the fucking window. That shit is scary. It's like a jump scare, you know? I'm just trying to sit here and talking about the debt ceiling, and now I got to deal with this fucking shit, okay? Anyway, McCarthy says some progress made in U.S. debt ceiling talks with White House. Progress. We made progress. Well, if Kevin McCarthy is talking about progress, it's probably not good. Because this guy is currently holding the United States hostage. You know what? I'm not going to lie to y'all. I learned something recently. You know, they say, you know, people that do these kinds of shows, you know, we do it for the learning, for the knowledge. I love to learn more stuff about the world. And I learned recently that apparently inside of the 14th Amendment, there is some sort of thing about mandating that the U.S. Don't default on debts. I did not know about this until about a week ago or so, and so apparently, right, it is unconstitutional to hold this country's debt ceiling hostage, and Joe Biden said he doesn't care about the Constitution. So this is something I learned here recently. I thought it was a little bit more airtight. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I thought Kevin McCarthy had Joe Biden by the balls, but it turns out that's not the case. So again, I'm not a legal expert, I'm not a constitutional expert. You can look up additional information on the 14th Amendment here. But it seems that Joe Biden, instead of enforcing the Constitution, is instead going to sell Social Security down the river, just like he wanted to do 10 years ago. So, talks are going down to the wire, as the Treasury Department has warned that the government could run short of funds to cover all its expenses as soon as June 1. Which, without a deal, could trigger a potentially economically catastrophic default. By the way, just in case anyone's wondering, I did wake up like 30 minutes ago, so bear with me. I'm a little still. I got morning brain. Democratic President Joseph Robinette and House of Representatives Speaker McCarthy are at odds over spending, taxes, and work requirements for anti-poverty programs. Both sides say they believe they could find common ground after hours-long discussions. You know, whenever Joe Biden says we can find common ground, that's when you need to open up the bomb shelter and dive right in, because shit's about to get fucked. Right? Now, again, do I honestly genuinely care about the American economy failing? I'm not going to lie to you. No, I don't. I don't care about the American economy failing. Millions of people are going to, have a hard time. Inflation might skyrocket, assuming this shit actually happens, right? You know, they keep talking a big game, but we'll see. They might just sell Social Security down the river, in which case, do I really care about people that are 30 years old that are not going to get Social Security? You know what? Maybe I do care a little bit about that one. I'm relying on Social Security. This is my goal in life, is to barely make it to 65 or 67, whatever it is, or 70 by the time I get there, whatever the cap would be, and then coast off of my government paychecks until I'm age 200, okay? That's my goal in life. Get to that retirement age, cash in my social... You know what? Maybe I'll cash in my Social Security at 73. You know, get some bigger checks going on, ride me all the way until 189 years old. So, just throwing that one out there. But again, this is a disaster no matter which way no matter how you look at it, it's a disaster. Let's read more about this. Quote, "We worked well past midnight last night." I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't believe that, okay? I don't believe that. Joe Biden has said, or rather, I guess it's been leaked, that Joe Biden has said to his staff that he can't have any meetings after 4 o'clock. So, unless this guy went to sleep at 4 o'clock, woke up at 9 p.m., and then had a meeting at like 10:30, I don't believe it. I don't believe that they were working past midnight. I don't believe it. But let's assume it did happen, as described, and let's assume Joe Biden didn't take a nap. Joe Biden would probably say anything. This guy's trying to get to bed, dude. Like, this guy, like, what do you keep it up past midnight? Like, you know, my grandpa, when he was Joe Biden's age, my grandpa would be in bed by 9. He would be in bed by 9:30 sometimes. Like, you can't be keeping these motherfuckers up that late. God damn. You know, this guy's just trying to get to bed. He'll say anything. And that's a problem. That's a problem for people like you who rely on Social Security or EBT or whatever sort of government assistance that you may or may not even require, but other people do. So you should probably care about them or not. I mean, you know, you care about whoever you want, I guess. But yeah, so again, Joe Biden has publicly said he's not going to do anything about the 14th Amendment in regards to this, so you can read all this stuff. It's just a bunch of hoopla. My opinion, I think Joe Biden is going to sell us down the river. That's my opinion. Now, again, Joe Biden could play hardball. He could use the 14th Amendment. He could do any of this stuff. But I think he's going to sell us down the river. He's going to cut Social Security. He's going to cut Medicaid. He's going to cut something. And then he's going to pretend like, oh, bipartisanship. And then we're all going to get fucked. That's my presumption, right? That's what I think is going to happen. But who knows? I mean, it's possible Joe Biden plays hardball, but doesn't even play hardball, and it's just like, I'm not going to cut whatever, and then we have the debt ceiling crash. What would happen if that happens? Well, we got 3 money tips from NPR. So hey, let's assume the debt ceiling crumbles, whatever the fuck. American economy is sent into a depression. Well, NPR is here to tell us how we can manage the incoming economic fallout. So, 3 ways to protect your money if the U.S. defaults on its debt. Let's check this one out. If the U.S. defaults on its debt, the fallout could be huge for Americans, and not just for retirees who may not get Social Security payments on time, or military veterans who may have trouble accessing benefits, or federal employees and contractors who may see a lag in payments owed to them. The cost of borrowing money would soar, making it harder for everyone to buy homes, cars, and pay off credit card debts. Don't worry, everybody. NPR is here to save the day. Here are your top 3 money tricks for when the economic depression hits, brought to you by NPR. Tried and true basics. Quote, we're advising people to prepare for a potential default as you would for an impending recession. It's almost like they're synonyms, right? That means tamping down on excess spending, making a budget, and shoring up emergency savings to cover at least 3 months of living expenses. Well, okay. So what is the X date here for the debt ceiling? June 1st. When was this article published? May 25th. In the second paragraph of the first tip, man, you really want 3 months of savings. Shouldn't you have released this article 3 months ago? Maybe you did. I don't know. Shouldn't you have released this article 3 fucking months ago? How the fuck am I going to save up 3 months of savings? Which, by the way, it's not even just 3 months of work, right? Because it's probably 8 months of work because I need to pay my bills on top of not spending any excess money, right? We have a week, motherfucker. How am I going to get 3 months of savings in a week? Hello? Do they even think about this shit? I don't know, man. Right? Wow. But okay. By the way, of NerdWallet. I don't even know what NerdWallet is, but it sounds like some crypto stuff. Since a debt default would likely send interest rates soaring, any credit card debt you're saddled with may soon cost you more. Yeah. So maybe we should have told you to pay off your credit cards 3 fucking months ago, but sorry, you got a week, bro. Personal finance experts advise paying off those debts with the highest interest rates as quickly as possible. While tightening finances, you may find that keeping up with car payments or a home mortgage will become a struggle. I love the creative writing here, by the way. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I love when these trust fund babies try to do these articles about you got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, Why don't you just get 3 months of savings in a week? You got 1 week. You got to get 3 months of savings. It's not that hard. You got those boots in the closet, and I'm sure you got those bootstraps. You can get 3 months of savings in a week. Goddamn. What are you, lazy? Lazy American? Come on. Anyway. Hell Hosky. Who the fuck is Hell? Okay, the NerdWallet bitch. Okay, that's a cool-ass name, by the way. No offense to Hell Hosky. I wish my name was Hell Hosky. God damn. Imagine that. You walk into a room, and people are like, yo, is that Hell Hosky? Whoa. Damn, that is a cool-ass name. So, shout-outs to Anna Hell Hosky for having the coolest name I've seen in many weeks. Recommends reaching out to lenders early to discuss any options for lowering payments, adding that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has, quote, housing counselors who can also help homeowners explore any alternatives to delinquency and anything that would have long-lasting impacts on their credit. And then we get some old man recreating the Nevermind cover. Don't panic! This is tip number 2. So, again, we might be in an economic depression in 2 weeks. Here's tip number 2. Don't panic. The stock market will certainly take a hit if the U.S. defaults on its debt. And if that does happen, I got 5 stocks, me personally, that I'm going to tell you to invest in the next economic depression. So, check that one out. Stay tuned for that video. The stock market will certainly take a hit if the U.S. defaults on its debt. At moments, the losses could seem significant to anyone with investments or retirement accounts. But for those with diversified portfolios who aren't nearing retirement, investment experts advise that you stay the course. Now I just want to say this one. How about this? You sell your fucking goddamn stock and buy it back after the stock market crash. Now, I know NPR is not going to put that in there, but I'm just saying, if you have stocks, if you have any sort of things that you trade on the market for entertainment or for money, and you think, if you actually genuinely believe, which I don't know, I'm just going to be honest with you, I think Joe Biden is going to sell us down the river. I think it is a 51% chance that Joe Biden cuts Social Security or something. But if you think that the debt ceiling bullshit is going to default and that we are going to go into an economic recession or depression and that the stock market is going to crash, which NPR is suggesting, then you would sell your stock now and rebuy it in a couple of weeks at a severe discount, right? So I'm just saying, if NPR is correct in that we need to follow these tips, they're just giving you shitty stock market advice. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is shitty advice, you know? They're trying, like, that's the thing, they don't even need to talk about stock market advice, but they're doing it in a way to make you do shitty things. So I'm just saying, maybe just think about it a little harder. Fight your worst instinct to act on the news, says Teresa Ghilarducci, another excellent name, labor economist and retirement security expert at the New School. I prefer the old school. That's just me personally. All the academic research shows that if you buy and hold, you will do so much better than if you try to follow market trends, whether that be responding to an economic crisis or a recession. Like, I mean, what that is it's essentially non-advice. Like, I'm sorry, man. That is non-advice. You know, well, if you buy and hold for 40 years on average, you'll do better. Yeah, but that's not fun, motherfucker. Like, come on, man. I'm in the stock market for fun. Right? You think I'm in the stock market to fucking have a nice retirement? I'm not even gonna make it to 65, motherfucker. Right? 67, 70, whatever it is. Maybe if Joe Biden gets his way, it'll be 75. I'm not gonna get that far. I don't give a shit about retirement. I'm here to gamble. I'm here to get like a plus 13% on the day, man. That's what I'm here for. I'm just saying. Okay, so fuck you, NPR. Act fast. This is tip number 3, y'all. Act fast or postpone big purchases, okay? I got this like mucus thing going on in my nose. I don't know if anyone can hear this. Hold on. It's like a mucus situation. All right. Act fast or postpone big purchases. If you're in the market for a new car or home, what can you afford today? What you can afford today may be well beyond reach in a matter of weeks. I mean, like, talk about the worst times to be in the goddamn housing market, right? A week before the economic depression and or a week before Joe Biden destroys Social Security, whatever one we get, you know, it's like the magical hats in Yu-Gi-Oh! You ever play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh? You ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh? I fucking love Yu-Gi-Oh! You know when goddamn Yugi has the Dark Magician and they get the magical fucking hats? That's what we're dealing with right now. We got some magical ass motherfucking hats. Under one of them, economic depression. Oh boy, can't wait. Under one of them, it's the Dark Magician. We win. Under the other one, it's Joe Biden. Oh God, everybody run. All right, so, but again, NPR, 3 tips. This is tip number 3. If you're in the market for a new car or home, which as we know, most people in America are in the market for a new car or home. That's just generally how most people are, you know, like most people, especially the poor, right? Under $30,000 a year annual salary. We're all looking for cars and homes. In fact, I'm going to buy a car so that I can drive to my new home. That's what I'm going to do. It may be wise to close that deal on a new car now and make sure your interest rate is locked in if you're working toward closing on a home. Real estate website Zillow has some interesting advice for NPR listeners. Estimates mortgage rates could reach 8.4% in the event of a default, which would send a chill through the housing market already on ice thanks to the interest rate hikes of last year. By the way, I love how NPR cites Zillow. Not like anyone at Zillow, but just the motherfucking website. Like, just like the landing page on Zillow. As if, by the way, Zillow has no responsibility for the housing market of today. You know, when Zillow in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 was spending billions and billions of dollars buying houses and converting them and flipping them, converting some of them to Airbnbs and other such bullshit, and then flipping them for extremely higher prices. But no. Zillow has nothing to do. It's all the interest rates. Now, again, are the interest rates when it comes to the housing market fuck-ups really bad? Absolutely. But the idea that we're going to cite motherfucking Zillow, you know, one of the major corporations that is actually, if there's anyone other than the U.S. government responsible for the housing market debacle that we're currently going through, it's fucking Zillow, okay? But don't worry, guys. They got some advice for us. NPR's third tip in the event of a debt ceiling default. Quote, you'll see a dramatic drop in buyers, and when that happens, then you're going to see property prices fall, a halt on different construction and home improvement projects. By some estimates, housing activity accounts for nearly a fifth of the U.S. economy. Now again, the idea that this is like regular people buying and flipping houses like you see on like TLC or some shit, that's not happening. It's major corporations like Zillow that are buying and flipping houses and making sure that poor people cannot actually get housing and driving up the overall cost of housing in the whole market. These are like the idea that NPR is going to say that. And also, by the way, like, okay, 3 ways to protect your money if the U.S. defaults on its debt. Like, who are they fucking talking to here? Right, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't read this before this segment. I thought they were going to talk about how to, like, save money on grocery shopping. I mean, like, look at the thumbnail image is literally someone grocery shopping. But it has nothing to do with grocery shopping. It's like, well, you know that 5-star restaurant that you were planning on buying with your inheritance money? Well, maybe you shouldn't buy that. Well, you know that private jet you were thinking about getting? Well, maybe you should hold off on that private jet. Like, I mean, how the fuck is any of this even remotely applicable for the average person? And the only even remotely applicable advice that there was get a 3-month saving buffer. By the way, you got a week. You got a week to build up a 3-month saving buffer. And that's the only thing that even could be applicable to someone that's not a fucking CEO or a corporate executive. But again, it's NPR. So, what are you gonna do? But there you go. So that's the debt ceiling. In other news, we're fucked. So, everybody, subscribe to my Doom channel. I'm trying to get monetized on this bitch. I'm desperate for money and attention, for that matter. So subscribe on youtube.com/@Doom Speedruns. So, hit me up. Got some more news I'm going to be talking about. We got Tyler here. We got Justin. We got Biz. We got Valita. And more are showing up in today's chat room program. When we get closed captioning for live streams, I'm not sure. I know some people have that. Like, I'm sure that there's some program I could integrate into OBS to do that, but I don't. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy bitch. And more. So, it's just the first story of the day, y'all. And I gotta drink my goddamn coffee. Oh boy, oh. Oh boy, oh. Can we play Doom in multiplayer? I don't like playing multiplayer. But it's not just with Doom. I don't like playing multiplayer or anything. I don't like people. And, you know, I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at socializing. I'm not good at setting up a multiplayer match. Oh, God, I'm getting hives just thinking about it. All right. Folks. Talk a lot about cops in America, but oftentimes people will ask me, what about cops in other countries? And I answer you with this story from NPR. A 95-year-old Australian woman dies after police shoot her with a stun gun. Now, I know, first of all, your first reaction, like, now, I just want to say this. Before you freak out, it's actually worse. It's actually way worse than you are thinking right now. Okay. But also, can we talk about the headline here? Now, I know I'm picking on NPR today. NPR is the big bad guy today. But a 95-year-old Australian woman dies after police shoot her with a stun gun. I have another word for that. Killed. Killed. Like, imagine this. A 95-year-old Australian woman dies after Jack Nicholson from The Shining bashed her head in with an axe. Wow, how about was killed? How about that? I mean, like, can we use the word kill? Are we allowed to use the word kill? Is that allowed? Like, is there like some international, and again, this is from Australia, an international fear of the word kill? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. But anyway, so why was this 95-year-old Australian woman executed? Let's find out. A 95-year-old Australian woman died Wednesday. So tragic. She just died. Wow. You know, what do you know? She just died. She just fucking flopped over like a fish and died. Wow. A week after police officer shot her with a stun gun in a nursing home. It's almost like those two things may be related. They may be related. As she moved toward him using a walker and carrying a steak knife in a tragedy that has outraged many Australians. But she had a knife. Now, I don't know about y'all. Do you know any 95-year-olds? Now, this is from Australia, okay? We're not talking about 95-year-olds from, like, the Tibetan mountains or some shit. You know, like, or any of these blue zones where these Mediterranean diet motherfuckers are climbing up mountains into their fucking 80s and 90s. We're talking about someone from Australia, okay? Have you ever seen a 95-year-old move? Have you ever seen a 95... Like, I'm just like, you're a cop. You've got body armor on. You may be 30 years old, maybe 40 years old. Right? If you're over 40, then you probably shouldn't be a cop anymore, but hey, whatever. You're maybe 30, 40 years old. You have body armor on. You have the ability to run. And like a literal zombie, like that moves even slower than the zombies in Dead Rising, is like shuffling toward you. But they had a knife. Woo! Woo! Like, the idea that anyone feared for their life or anything, I mean, let's throw that out the window. So what would be the only reason why this cop would want to murder this old lady? Well, the cop just wants to get it over with. That is the mentality of police, as they constantly never feel like doing their job. Every time a police officer is ever doing anything remotely related to what's anything in their job description, it's a waste of their time. You're wasting my time with this. I can't believe I gotta do this. The paperwork is all... The cop doesn't want to be there for 30, God forbid, 35 minutes trying to de-escalate the situation. This cop's got to go get it. Their fucking, you know, they just ordered something in the drive-thru at Dunkies down the street. They got to be places. They got to go, you know, to the bar during their children's recital. Right? They got things to do. They can't be de-escalating the situation, so fuck it. Let's just murder a 95-year-old for entertainment. I got places to be. Like, I just, like... This shit is insane, man. It is insane. It is insane. And again, this is not American police. You know, a lot of people, I'm in America. I've done protests against police. People have asked me personally, like, oh, you have a lot of experience with police. How are they? You know, are they like that in other countries? And I'm like, I don't know. I never left this country. But every now and then you read these nuggets. You know, they might not have guns everywhere in Australia, but they got stun guns, they got tasers, and they're using them to murder retired people that have dementia, dementia. This person doesn't even know what year it is. This person is walking around in 1943 and you're killing her for no fucking reason. I mean, like, Jesus fucking Christ, okay? God damn. I don't even want to read the rest of this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't like reading the rest of that. That was a waste of my time. But I mean, Jesus, and imagine if your grandma got killed by cops in a nursing home. Like, fuck, you know? That's all I got to say on that one before I get myself in trouble. What the fuck is Blake Stone? Come on now. Blake Stone just came out yesterday as far as this bitch is concerned. All right. So, let's talk about American cops, all right? So, this is a headline. I'm going to read you a headline that, like, now, there's more to the story theoretically, but, like, just on, as far as headlines are concerned, I mean, like, top 10, like, most vague headline you've ever seen when someone's dead. Like, okay, so I'm gonna spoil this for you. Someone died, okay? You wouldn't know that, though, based on this headline. Well, maybe you will. They used the D word, died. But you wouldn't know anything else about it based on this headline. Are you ready for this one? Okay. Family of woman who died after falling out of patrol car in Georgia files lawsuit. So this apparently happened a while ago. I missed it, but I'm here again to cover this. A woman died after falling out of a patrol car. You know, the patrol cars that don't even have door handles on the inside. You know, the patrol cars that have, like, iron and steel cages. Yeah, she fell out and died. Like, I mean, I'm serious. How? I mean, come on, man. Come on, how is this? The family of a Georgia woman who died after falling out of a police car. I mean, I'm serious. How do you die while falling out of a police car? How do you die while falling out of a police car? Was the car going 90 miles an hour? And, like, she somehow opened up the steel cage and was able to open up the door that doesn't even have a handle on the inside? Right? Like, how? How does somebody die when falling out of a car? Like, I'm trying to fucking figure this out. I'm trying to use my imagination here to describe, you know, in images in my head, how this is even remotely possible. Okay. Brianna Grier, 28, was having a mental health episode and was being transported by a Hancock County Sheriff's deputy when she fell out of the moving patrol car on July 15th of 2022. Okay, so the patrol car was moving, and somehow she fell out of the car. Now again, how? How was she able to fall out of this car? Like, I'm just describe the mechanism. We're about to, so let's keep going. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation determined the deputy failed to close the rear passenger door before the car left the scene. Oh. So they just didn't close the door. Wow. Interesting. Grier was in a coma after falling out of the car and died on July 21, a week later. Her family had called for help at their home in Sparta. You know, I just want to say this. I got a little bit of pushback because I made a video the other day where I talked about why you should never, ever call the cops on someone who's having a mental health crisis. I got some pushback. What else are you going to do? What other options are there? Now, I don't want to necessarily say whoever called the cops is a murderer in this instance, because there is, again, genuine neglect, or rather genuine ignorance, I should say. A lot of people. I don't know how. It's the year 2022 in this article, right? I don't know how people don't know that the cops are insane and crazy and don't help anything. But if you call the cops on someone who is having a mental health episode or a crisis, that is attempted murder. Okay, I just want to say that. Now again, ignorance, genuine, whatever, we can make that argument. But if you call the cops on anybody having a mental health crisis, especially if they're a part of a minority group, that is attempted murder. You shot the gun, and just magically, Jesus took the wheel, and the bullet, like, you know, it was like one of those TV bullets where it, like, bends in midair, and it just dodged the person, and they survived just by the sheer luck, okay? When you call the cops on anybody having a mental health crisis, that is attempted murder. Whether or not you're aware of it, you should be aware of it by now, especially in 2022. You should be aware of it. So again, if anyone is curious as to why I have this opinion, here's another example. Her family had called for help at their home in Sparta, around 60 miles west of Augusta, the night, and she ended up being arrested and was handcuffed and put in the back of a patrol car, according to her family and officials. On the way to the sheriff's office, Grier fell out of the passenger side door of the car. Body camera video released by authorities showed the reaction of a second deputy who asked the driver, "How's your back door open?" No criminal charges have been filed. No criminal charges have been filed. Again, someone is dead. No criminal charges. So again, I really, like, if there is any way, like, I know oftentimes talking about politics, we're shouting in the dark, we're screaming at the choir, whatever it is. But if there's any major takeaway that I can have and put on to you, my dear viewer, if anybody is having a mental health episode or crisis, whatever word you want to use to describe it, calling the cops is a bad thing. If someone around you is going to call the cops, it is incumbent upon you to prevent them from doing so. Now, am I going to sit here and say the cops are 100% of the time going to kill them? No, but it's a non-zero percentage, okay? Unless you genuinely believe that you are about to be killed by somebody, right? And even then, calling the cops, they usually take like half an hour to get there, so it's not really like... But outside of, like, you are, like, locked in a closet somewhere, and, like, there is almost no area I can think of or situation I could think of where calling the cops would be beneficial to anybody. But I'm just saying, if you care about your family member, if they're having a bad time, calling the cops is only going to make it worse. This person is having a mental health crisis. Does it say anywhere why she was arrested? Why was she arrested? Why was she arrested? Why was she even put into a police car? Right now, again, I just read this article all the way up until this point, okay? It doesn't even say that she was acting dangerously. It doesn't say she had a knife, she had a gun, she threatened people. All we know is that this innocent person was having a mental health crisis. And for whatever reason, that is an offense that deserves you to be put in handcuffs and arrested? For having a mental health crisis. So if I'm depressed and I'm crying in my bed, theoretically a cop is allowed to come to my house and arrest me? Like, where's the crime? Where is even the alleged crime? There is no alleged crime. There is no, she was waving a knife. There is no, now maybe it is if you keep reading, right? Grier's family said that she was diagnosed with schizophrenia and she was on medication for the disorder. She was having a mental health episode and her mother called authorities for help. What does this mean? A mental health episode? Why? Now, again, shame. Now, I know this mother is having a hard time killing her kid. I get it, okay? You killed your kid. It was an accident. It happens. You know, I'm not trying to even sound unsensitive, but it does happen. Parents do accidentally murder their children. It is, and I'm not going to say that this parent it's a terrible person. I mean, she made a very awful mistake and she's going to have to live with that. That is punishment enough. All right. But there was no, like, why was she arrested? Why, like, where was the arrest? Right? Why did the arrest, like, cops should go, like, get in there, theoretically, right? You call the cops, they go in there, they de-escalate the situation, they calm her down, they leave. Why would you arrest her? What was the arrest? Like, don't you need a crime? Like, we're just allowed to walk into people's houses and arrest people? For doing nothing wrong? Again, no waving a knife, no acting irrationally, no threats. Because if there were, you're damn right it would be in the article, okay? If she were genuinely saying, I'm going to shoot up the closest school near me, or some crazy ass shit, you're damn fucking right that would be in the article. So the idea that she is just having an episode and her parents decide, well, it's time to kill our kid, and then the cops are like, all right, you called the executioner, let's go and kill the bitch. Like, the idea that any of this happened is insane to me. That is insane to me, okay? This is an insane fucking story. And again, everybody, just so you know, no criminal charges have been filed because nobody broke the law here, everybody. Arresting somebody without any probable cause, that's fine. Putting someone in handcuffs in their own home who didn't break any laws, hey, who cares? Are we not allowed to scream in our houses anymore? Where was the law broken where this person needed to be in handcuffs? Was she screaming in her own house? Is that against the law? Was she crying in her own house? Is that against the law? So I don't, like, every step of this situation is some fucked up ass. But again, everybody, no worries, because no criminal charges have been filed. It's America, baby. It's America, baby. We don't fucking file criminal charges on murderers. We arrest people who did nothing wrong. That's what we do in America. And then if we're lucky, we can kill them for our own entertainment and sport and then get away with it. Reminder, the most prolific serial killers in American history are police. Police are the most prolific serial killers in American history. 98%. According to mappingpoliceviolence.org, 98% of the time when someone dies in police custody, cops don't even get charged. I need you to really understand how fucking brazen this system is, right? Let's imagine, right, it's a 1984 type situation, which we currently live in, but at least they're pretending, right? They're virtue signaling that it's a fair system. The cops would get charged, sent to trial, and then just found innocent every time. That would give the illusion of justice, right? That would give, okay, you know, we're actually going through the system and they're just found innocent every time. It would still be fucked up. It would still be crazy. It would still be a conspiracy. That is true. But they don't even get charged. That's how brazen our society is. Cops can kill people and they don't even pretend to take it seriously. They don't even pretend. Okay? 98% of the time, you can look this up, cops don't even get a single charge. They don't even go to court. I need you, like, it's insane. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. If you're working at Bojangles, right, and your coworker dies unexpectedly while you were the only two people working there, and whatever, the cameras stopped working, even if you did nothing wrong, you're going to have to go to court. You're going to have to defend yourself in court. But with a cop, I'm sorry, I can't go to court. I can't go to court, Your Honor. I have an appointment. I got to beat my wife that day. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I can't do it. Insane. Anyway, doing a show here today and tomorrow. I will be doing a show tomorrow as well. I just want to say this, by the way, everybody. I am considering making a change, a slight change to the format of this show. I took a 2-week vacation recently and I did a lot of thinking, right, about the format of this program, and I am considering doing longer shows. Now, normally I would say I end the show at about an hour in. I want to do longer shows, but I'm thinking I'm going to take Sunday off as well, in addition to Saturday and Wednesday. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do this yet, but I'm just throwing that out there, see if I can get some opinions. Maybe 90-minute to 2-hour show, standardized, 4 times a week. I feel like that's easier for me to handle. So let me know what you think about that one. And while you're letting me know what you think, reminder to subscribe to my Doom channel. Think of it as a free donation. You help me get monetized, I start making money, and you pay $0. You know that bell that people tell you to ring? Fuck that bell. You know, be like Ben Franklin or whatever and smash that bell to pieces. I don't care if you watch any video. Subscribe today, everybody. There are good cops. Soul Life is coming in. Soul Life really is MAGA. This motherfucker's coming in. Man, there's like good cops, man. It's like they're just like, man. It's like good cops, bro. Trust me. Now I just want to say this. This is something I've said before, but you may have not heard this yet. I have had cops in my family. When I say had, I excised myself from that side of the family, so I don't consider them family anymore. But several members of people related to me by blood are cops. And they are the worst fucking scumbags I have ever met on a personal level. All right? I don't know really anything about their career, but on a personal level, the people in my family, or were in my family, or related to me by blood, are some of the most abusive scum fucks I have ever fucking met, ever. Even when they're trying to be nice, even when they're not even just neutral, they're just like, it's a mindset. Like, these people are just scum fucking bags, okay? So I just, you know, just throwing that one out there. Oh, a dispatcher and a cop are not the same thing. I think a dispatcher, you can reasonably expect that a dispatcher is going to be a net positive, but also it's kind of like working for Raytheon, you know? You're building the missiles. You're not dropping them on Iraqi civilians, but you're building the missiles, you know? So, But anyway, let's talk about religion. As we all know, I love religion. I'm a huge fan of religion. People, they come to me and they say, Andrea, you keep talking about how much you love religion so much. It's getting a little off-putting. But one of the reasons why I talk about religion on my show is a lot of left-wing news channels are afraid of religion. They are. They're genuinely scared fucking shitless about religion. I'm just making an observation, right? So for those of you that don't know, I am an anti-theist. I hate religion. I hate religious institutions. And I think religious people are walking through life with cement tied to their backs, okay? That's my belief. I want to see and bear witness to the complete eradication of all religious institutions. Now, that's my opinion. I think that that is the left-wing position. Again, what is left-wing politic? It is essentially boiled down to anti-hierarchies, right? I don't agree or support the idea that anyone is better than anyone else. I support, as a left-winger, everybody being equal under the law. Religion is completely antithetical to that. Religion creates hierarchies. Even within the church, there are people that are superior. You got the pastor, you got whatever the fuck, you got the nun. And then you got humans and God. But then another thing that especially Christians and, the Abrahamic religions as a whole, I live in the United States. Another thing that Christians believe is that life is like a totem pole. Humans are made in the image by God, but what about everything else on earth? They're not made in God's image. God made them, but they're lesser than. I don't believe that. I believe all living things on earth, except for bugs. Fuck bugs. I'll crunch a spider any day. All living things on earth, except for bugs, should be treated equally. That is my opinion. I am fundamentally politically against hierarchies, and therefore, as a result, I despise religion. Now, again, I think most people in left-wing news media are afraid to say that, even if they may believe it. Why? Because most people, especially in America, believe in fairy tales. They have undiagnosed schizophrenia or some other sort of mental health condition, and instead of actually bothering to treat it, we just pretend it's normal. So, exhibit number 75,415. Why religion is evil. Nearly 2,000 children were sexually abused in the Illinois Catholic Church. A new report identifies nearly 500 clergy members in Illinois who sexually abused children. So again, when somebody, the good Christians, this is a message to the good Christians. Now, I believe you can be a good person despite being a Christian. That is possible. But it is fundamentally impossible. It is illogical. And it is not allowed or permitted under the laws of physics, nature, or logic to be a good Christian. You can't. You can only be different shades of a bad Christian because there is no such thing as a good Christian. Now, again, you could be a good person who just happens to be a Christian. That's a separate conversation, all right? But you cannot be a good Christian because in order to be a Christian, what you need to do is you need to give deference to unearned, fake, hierarchical systems of power that enable this kind of violence. That's why. When you acknowledge that God is real, and God being real means that there's a pope and there's pastors and ministers and whatever the fuck, in these positions of power, clergy and all that. When you pretend that these people have actual power that is anything remotely real in your mind, you are enabling bad behavior. And the same reason why anyone that enables police as an institution, anyone that enables these people to walk around our world with guns and with a license to kill people with impunity, just even believing in that system is enabling it. It is enabling the violence that occurs. Now, am I saying you're responsible? Not necessarily, but you're enabling it. You're not doing anything about it, and you're kind of just letting it happen, okay? So again, this is why I fundamentally do not believe in the concept of a good Christian. You can apply that to any other Abrahamic religion. You can apply that to any kind of religion. There's very few religions that I even have a slight amount of respect for. You could maybe throw Buddhism in the list of religions I have a little bit of respect for. But again, if you are a Christian and you go to church, or you believe that the church is a thing that exists that is holy, if you believe in the concept of holy power, if you believe in the concept of clergy or nuns or any of this hierarchical positioning, then you are in some way enabling this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's why I don't believe in good Christians. That's why, okay? So let's check this one out. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul announced Tuesday that the state had corroborated more than 1,900 victims' child sex abuse claims against Catholic clergy in Illinois. This is one state, by the way. One state. My apologies. There is a study that found that over the course of the 21st century in France, that 300,000 children had been sexually molested by the Catholic Church in the country of France over the course of the 21st century. This came out maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. Feel free to look it up and fact check me, okay? So again, This is happening all around the world. And when you pretend that Jesus is real, not only do you sound like a fucking crazy, psycho, stupid fuck, okay? Anyone that says that, praise Jesus, you just sound like a dumbass. You sound like an uneducated, unintelligent, useless person. And you know what? That's morally neutral. But what's morally negative is, again, pretending like these people have any sort of power position. These are some fucked up freaks that use God and use you being a fucking moron that can't think for themselves in order to do heinous acts of violence and crime. They use the fact that you are a dumb fuck piece of shit who cannot think for themselves as a way to do violence in the cloak of night, okay? Let's keep going. The church has been embroiled in child sex abuse scandals for more than 2 decades that encompass hundreds of thousands of victims around the globe from Australia to Chile. The Illinois findings are the latest from several major U.S. investigations in recent years showing that such abuse and church officials' cover-ups were widespread, making the case that the clergy is incapable of bringing perpetrators among their own ranks to account. Why? Think about it. Now, again, I'm not convinced that clergy or whatever even believe in God, okay? I'm not convinced. I'm honestly, I think most people that are in power positions in church are just grifters. That's just my opinion. But I'm sure some of them might believe in it, right? But here's the thing. Grifter or true believer, if you're a true believer, why would you turn your colleague in? God has chosen them, motherfucker. It doesn't matter if they commit a crime. God chose him. You're going to choose man's system of law over God? Of course not, right? So again, the fundamentals of this entire cult are designed around ensuring that this abuse is never reported. Because again, if you truly believe that you and your colleagues are chosen by God, and if you truly believe that you can just repent for your sins right before your deathbed and then Jesus will accept you into heaven, who fucking cares if you raped 39,000 little boys along the way? Because God chose you, okay? And this is why religion is fundamentally evil, and that people who believe in any of this horseshit are enabling this. Now again, am I saying that random Meemaw down the street who's believed in God and goes to church every Sunday for fucking 40, 50 years straight, am I saying that she's responsible for this? No, but she is enabling it, and she just wasted 50 years of her life believing in fucking fairy tales, okay? Now, I just want to say this much. Now again, I have a grievance, right, with left-wingers on the internet, left-wingers politically, because, again, people tiptoe around this religion shit way too much. Now, I get it. Their argument is, we need to meet people where they are, we need to bring people into the fold, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, right? What is left-wing politics but for equality for everybody? Everybody deserves to be treated equally. Religion is entirely and fundamentally opposed to that. It creates hierarchies where there are none and is absolutely against all forms of left-wing thought. Now, again, you want to argue with that, oh, church brings people together. That's a sad state of affairs, right? But that's a whole different conversation. A 696-page report from the State Attorney General's office found a total of 494 abusers across Illinois' 6 Catholic dioceses. I don't even know what the fuck that word is. I'm not going to lie to you. Many of whom were knowingly and routinely transferred between parishes while church officials remained silent. Oh, you rape your 15th boy? Nah, just go to the church down the street. They'll forget about it. They won't know who you are. Again, I need you to understand that religion fundamentally is a cancer on society. These people are insane. And I don't even mean that in like, oh, lol, you believe in Jesus. You're you're Looney Tunes. I don't even mean it in that sense. I mean it as these people are doing fundamental goddamn damage to our world, and they don't even realize it because they've been brainwashed. That is really what the definition of a sheep is they're just walking around. They don't even know what damage they are causing, And again, that's the thing. If someone wants to say, oh shit, I had no idea this is going on, I renounce my membership of the church or whatever, based, all right? You're on the right side of history. But the people that go out there and say, oh, well, you know, Jesus is, well, those are people and they don't believe in the real Jesus. Or you ever hear this shit from Christians that it's like, they don't believe in the real Jesus. If they really followed Jesus's teachings, then blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. These are the people in positions of power in your fucking religious cult. I don't know what to tell you, okay? These are the people that run the goddamn scam, okay? These are the scam artists that are scamming you. So maybe, just maybe, if the people in charge are using Jesus to rape a bunch of little kids, maybe, just maybe, that's the only real value Jesus has. Let's just be honest, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. That's another value that Jesus has. The report relies on interviews, hotline messages, emails, and letters from more than 600 confidential sources, many of whom described experiencing long-term consequences resulting from the abuse, including mental health issues, addiction, and suicidal ideation. Cardinal Blase J. Kupik, what the fuck? Archbishop of Chicago sent a video statement on behalf of the Archdiocese. I apologize to all of those. But don't worry, guys. Jesus is real. Don't worry. Don't worry. Keep giving us money. Keep putting the money in the collection plate. Jesus is real. Yeah, sure. Like 80% of my guys just raped all of your kids. But don't worry, guys. I apologize on behalf of Jesus because Jesus is totally real. Keep giving us money. Keep telling other people about Jesus. He's totally real. I know. We just raped all of your kids. But give me a break here. Come on, Jesus. Come on, man. Look at Jesus. He's up there in the sky. Look at that. Woo! Holy Ghost, right? Now, again, and this is why I just fundamentally cannot take Christians seriously. They're just unserious actors, right? These are people that, like, are so, like, I personally, like, I mean, I figured out God wasn't real when I was like 7 years old. Like, I'm sorry, man. If you cannot figure out that God's not real, there is something going on with you. I was praying to God as a 6-year-old. Nothing happened. Well, the only logical thing is God's not fucking real. Some people are like, well, maybe I just didn't pray hard enough. And then they pray every day for 48 years and then nothing fucking happens. And they're like, Jesus works in mysterious ways. And or you just wasted your whole fucking life being a dumbass. Now, again, I just want to be very clear. If you, as an adult, a grown adult, still believe in magic, like capitalism, for example, if you believe in capitalism, this is to all these so-called atheists out there that believe in capitalism, by the way, you are just in a different cult. Capitalism as Christianity are two different sides of the coin of magical fucking thinking. Purely made up, no foundation in reality, magical thinking that gets people killed. When it comes to the church, it's with crusades, it's with suicide because you were raped as a child and no one's there to help you because if you tell anyone, they're going to laugh at you. And then also, by the way, the church has so much power in your community, right? So blood on their hands in that way, and the same way that capitalists have blood on their hands when anyone dies of starvation in a world where half of food that's produced is thrown in the garbage, okay? These are magical, religious cults. If you believe in Christianity, I'm sorry, man. It's hard to take you seriously. This is like 101. This is like basic critical thinking 101, okay? Same thing with capitalism, by the way. Though capitalism is slightly more insidious, I have a little bit more leeway for people that may believe in that kind of religion further in their age. But again, God is such an easy one. It's a layup. It's a layup. If you can't figure out that this shit is not real, wow, man. Wow. And it's just like, I doubt, like, you know, some people say, well, we need to meet people where they are, bring them to the fold. Why? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you can't figure out that God's not real, where the fuck is your use case in any other? Now, I know people get triggered when I say that, but I don't know, man. Like, it blows my mind that people still are enabling this fucking disgusting garbage, okay? And again, the church, tax-free. Talk about the most successful pyramid scheme in the history of pyramid schemes. They actually lobbied the government so that they don't have to pay taxes. That alone, that fact alone should tell you that this whole thing is a scam. That fucking fact alone should tell you that it's all a scam. And yet people are still wandering around. Jesus is watching me jerk off. You woo! Jesus go woo! Jesus Christ, man. Fuck me. I'm sick of this shit. So anyway, there's my religion segment. Had to get that one out there. But yeah, man, I am sick of the tiptoes. I'm sorry. I'm sick of the tiptoes when it comes to religion, so I overcorrect. You may interpret it as an overcorrection, but based on the people that swim in the circles that I'm swimming in with this show, I feel like an overcorrection is needed to balance things out. So, most people who claim to have an after-death experience... Mike K, this is an easily explained one. So the meme is, I died temporarily, right? You know, died of a cocaine overdose, and then they brought you back to life with a defibrillator, whatever. Now, if you spend your whole life believing that God exists, okay? You spend your whole life believing that God exists. And we know for a fact that when you die, your brain produces a hallucinatory state to ease you into death. We know that for a fact. So if you spend your whole life believing that God exists and you die and your brain produces a hallucinatory effect, it makes perfect sense as to why that you would, in that hallucination, see heaven or some shit. Maybe, right? Because you spent your whole life believing in that shit, right? You know what I mean? Right? So it's like, it's... You know, it's such an easily explained phenomenon, but I get, you know, people are, it's the cope, it's confirmation bias. People will take anything they can to make their fucking cult be more rational or logical in their own head. On shrooms during a bad trip, a tree once told me, woo-wee. I felt its meaning, then Googled it the next day. Shit is deep. Yo, Soul Life, that is your best message yet. That is the best chat message you have written yet. I mean, you've been here for what, a month and a half, 2 months? I don't know. That's the best one yet. So, if I were you, delete your account. End on a high note, right? It's only downhill from here, so... Damn. All right. Y'all, I got one more story. So, Ron DeSantis apparently made the worst decision of his political career yesterday, which was to announce his run for president against Donald Trump. You know, the guy who built him up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, you know, without Trump, Ron DeSantis would be nobody. He's got some decent political chops. You know, at least he did up until last year when he decided to destroy his entire political career. But Ron DeSantis went through with it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I predicted that Ron DeSantis would not actually run for president, and I was wrong. So I just want to say I'm taking the L, okay? I'm taking the L. I thought Ron DeSantis would know that if he runs against Donald Trump, his career is over. And I thought that that knowledge, and he's young, right? So why not wait another 4 years? I thought, you know what? He is a crazy, evil son of a bitch, but maybe he's got some decent political intuitions. I was wrong, okay? Ron DeSantis is actually dumber than I thought, okay? So, again, huge L on my behalf. I actually thought Ron DeSantis was slightly more intelligent. I'm wrong. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the news story here. Glitches, echoes, and, quote, melting the servers crash DeSantis' campaign launch on Twitter. First of all, the idea that Ron DeSantis launched his campaign on Twitter is fucking hilarious. That is amazing. That is fucking funny. Now, this is something that's been kind of obvious, right? Because SpaceX does a lot of stuff in Florida. Elon Musk has already announced that he's going to support Ron DeSantis, right? So it's not a surprise that Meatball Ron is going to try to do this big thing on Twitter. And it's also not a surprise that it didn't work, because Twitter has been fundamentally destroying their own website. They fired like 70% of the people that work there. It's kind of like a ghost website. I covered this story a couple days ago where deleted tweets are now mysteriously popping back up. Deleted tweets are just coming back out of the fucking ether, right? So Twitter is in shambles. Any minute now, that's just going to hit the ground screaming and just going to have a blue screen that's never going to return, okay? But Twitter's live stream event with Florida Governor Meatball Ron crashed and was delayed on Wednesday as hundreds of thousands of users logged on to hear DeSantis announce his bid for the White House. Sound from the live stream event, which was held on Twitter Spaces and hosted by owner Elon Musk and tech entrepreneur David Sachs, cut in and out in the first 5 minutes after starting. Quote, "We've got so many people here that we are kind of melting the servers," Sachs said at one point. More than 500,000 Twitter users joined the event, which was ultimately ended and then restarted, delaying DeSantis' announcement by nearly half an hour. When the event was relaunched using Sachs' account, only around 250,000 users ultimately listened in. Twitter has faced a variety of outages, blah, blah, blah. But you may all be wondering, is there a clip? Is there a clip of this? I know, everyone's freaking the fuck out. Where are the clips? Where are the clips? Where are the clips? I have the best clip here. Now, this is a truth from one and only Donald J. Trump. This is a video that Donald J. Trump released in response to this ordeal, and I want to watch it with everybody. Again, Ron DeSantis, he could have backed out. You know, he didn't announce yet. He could have just said he decided not to run. But it's over. It's over. Donald J. Trump is now unleashed. I need you all to understand this. Trump was firing warning shots before this. Meatball Ron, Groomer Ron, all of these claims, all of the putting fingers Ron, these were all warning shots, okay? This was all a warning shot. It's over now, okay? Now that Meatball Ron, has actually officially launched his race, Donald J. Trump is going to fucking eviscerate him. And again, this is the first shot, so let's watch. I'm proud to be an American. And I won't forget the men who died.
We are kind of melting the servers.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
To freedom, and is willing to put his money where his mouth is, upset the narrative control imposed on us by our government.
Who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up.
Have Governor DeSantis make this. We're just trying to get it going.
Oh my god, man. Y'all, it's on. I just want this to be the takeaway from this video. Right? It's on. It's on. We are officially in primary season. So I just want everyone to know I'm going to be covering this primary extensively. Why? One, ad dollars. People are going to be looking up this shit all the time. SEO. I got to get that search engine optimization. That's reason number one in a prioritized list of reasons. That is the number one reason why I'd cover this. Number two, it's fucking hilarious. Now, number one is more valuable and important, but number two, it's a close second. This shit is going to be fucking funny, okay? Meatball Ron, who looks like a deer in headlights whenever like anyone talks to him at any point, right? Versus Donald Trump, the king of shit posting. I mean, I'm sorry. This is going to be a slaughter fest, okay? This is going to be an evisceration, and I'm here for it. I'm willing to watch this. Right now, again, I gotta take the L. I totally thought Meatball Ron would have the wherewithal to just like bow out and wait until Donald Trump has a heart attack in the year 2027 and then run for president. I was wrong. So as a result of me being wrong, we have at least a whole 8 months of excellent entertainment on the horizon. So everyone, please you know, because again, once Donald Trump gets the nomination, then we're in scary land, okay? Then it's Trump versus Biden round 2, and then, you know, gun sales are going to soar, okay? But Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis, this is going to be the only entertainment we get out of this political season. I read that there's going to be no presidential debates between Trump and Biden. They're just not going to do any of them. Keep in mind, we got robbed out of a debate last cycle. We only got 2. We were sold 3, and we only got 2. That's bullshit. Now we're going to get 0, apparently. So again, that was the only possible platform of humor in the last general election. So that's going to be scary. Having to deal with Sleepy Joe versus Crazy Orange Man, that's just going to be a little stressful. But Trump versus Ron, this is fun. Okay, this is fun. So soak it up while you can. Get the good vibes while you can, because they're not going to be here for long. So there you go, everybody. It's on now. I've received reports that Max the dog is currently, and I quote, being a dog. He's on the floor. But anyway, that's the news portion of my show. I'd like to enter the QCOC portion. Questions, comments, or queries, I should say. Queries, emphasis on queer, comments or concerns, post your Qs, and or cocks, now. So electoral politics at this point is nothing more than a multimedia simulation. I agree with that one. I would say, Tyler, starting next week, I'm probably gonna have a 90-minute minimum, 2-hour average, maybe 2-hour 15 maximum. You're making a mock quad. I mean, all right. Why not? Cooking with the Bitch, new episodes at some point in time. I hate it here, but this will give me something to laugh at. Well, I'm glad to know your true feelings, Glam Girl, who says, and I quote, I hate it here. Damn. Wow. Leftist mob tomorrow. Isn't that today? Isn't that today? I thought they do their shit on Thursday. Yeah, feel free to let them know that I'm willing to jump in if they need another co-host. Feel free to let them know that, because I nominate myself. So feel free to give them a super chat tomorrow and force them to respond to such a thing. And feel free, by the way, for everyone else to do that. If you know, why not, right? Go there, give them $2-3 and say, you know, you should bring Andrea back. And I'm just saying, if you have a super chat, you know, could maybe help me out. So think about it from that perspective. Mike K, speaking of super chats, request for Silent Hill 3 for Spooktacular. I'll try to remember that, but yep. I'm already planning what I'm going to do this year. So just, I don't want to spoil any of it, so wait until September when I start announcing it. But for those of you that don't know, every year, last year I started September 15th all the way up until Halloween. But every year I do at least a month-long Halloween celebration. That's the only holiday that I actually like, because it's kind of like the anti-holiday. So, you know, I start dripping information on that in September. Last year I started September 16th for content, but I started watching movies on the 15th. You know, I watched them and then I reviewed them the next day. Anyway, I will lobby for you. Excellent. I will promote your nomination. Yeah, like if everyone, you know, this is what you got to do. But it can't be coordinated, right? You can't be coordinated. Like, is from the moment the show starts, right? every like 15, 20 minutes, someone's got to post a super chat. Like, go into Discord and figure out the order now, right? Every 15 minutes or so, you got to post another super chat. Hey, you know, like, and you got to make it seem totally not coordinated, even though it is the most coordinated thing. But, yeah, feel free to do that. No, Courtney. But they're trying to get me back in. And by they, who is they? I don't know. Oh. Adios. Anyway, I mean, that's my show for today, right? Like, that's all I got. But yeah, I'm proposing some rules changes to the Above It All experience, starting next week. You know, I'm not dead set on it. It's still, you know, I'm just announcing that I'm thinking about it. So, you know, but I'm thinking about taking Sundays off, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 2-hour shows instead of 1-hour shows 5 days a week. I'm going to do 2-hour shows 4 days a week. So you get more content, and it's just easier for me to mentally handle that. So, and you know, maybe I'll make it 2.5 hours. So, but you know, I'm working on stuff behind the scenes, and I've decided that I don't have enough time for my other projects, and I need more time for my other projects. And it's easier for me to crunch things more than it is for me to have them sprawled out. So, but also the other part of that is I am working on other projects, right? So, I'm not going to announce anything as a set in stone, but it is possible that you'll be seeing other projects fill the void on the days where I'm not doing Above It All. So, you know, it's possible you may see a different kind of video on Wednesday or a different kind of video on Sunday than the Above It All. So, but I wouldn't necessarily say that anytime soon. That's theoretically what I'm building up to. But I need to get there. So follow me on Twitch if you'd like. I stream sometimes. It's not that good entertaining wise. Give me a YouTube sub so I can get monetized. I'm trying to get some money over there. So there you go. But that's it. That's all I got. That's it. So, let's see here.